Welcome everyone. 25 years this race has been going on. The first year they did it, they had 14 boats. Took an hour and a half to run the race. Now they're going to be over 60. It's going to take a whole weekend probably. Bob Courier, Mr. Bruner, and Butch Kinsfader. If you didn't own us 50 years ago playing hockey in our backyard, you never know that what they could be accomplished and what they've done. And everybody that's involved in this race, it's amazing. Jeff Bohm, and now we got Rick and Jeff on this team. I think everything is just moving up. It's just great stuff. Thanks for being out here, you guys. It's gonna be a great weekend when we get down there, and there's so many people putting so much time and hard work in this. To thank them all. There's so many and so much. I'm going to introduce Bob Courier, and everybody have a great day today and a great race weekend when we get there.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Bob Courier, and it's my honor to be the Secretary-Treasurer for Blue Water Offshore Racing Association, and I will be acting as your moderator today for this press conference. I might add, this is the first ever press conference held by Blue Water Offshore Racing, and there's some exciting things going to be happening this year. And we'll wait for one of our landmarks to get through that. So it's a great day, as the mayor said. Mother Nature has cooperated. We want you all to kind of capture today, hang on to it, because we really want this kind of weather the last weekend of July for our event. This is an international race course. To our knowledge, it is the only site in offshore racing where the course actually is in both the United States and Canada, making it truly international. And with some of the partnerships that have been formed in the off season, this will truly be an international race with teams coming from across the ocean, Europe, New Zealand, and the United Arab Emirates. At this time, I'd like to ask the Blue Water Offshore team to come forward and form a backdrop as I ask President Steve Bruner to come up and make some remarks as part of today's event.
Thanks, Bob. Good morning to everybody. And this is all about announcing the race that's going to happen July 26th, 27th, and 28th. It's our 25th consecutive race, which is important. There's a lot of sites around the country that have put on races for a lot of years, but not consecutively, and we haven't missed a beat. And all that's thanks to our great volunteers and team we've put together. This will be one of the most exciting races, if not only for the amount of boats, is where all the boats come from. We've got coming from all over the world to come here and race. And you'll be able to talk to racers, and it's one of the favorite race sites around the country. And we will have more race teams this year than we've had since the year 2000. Last time we hosted an APBA national event, which this will be APBA again, so that makes it a very satisfying return to APBA Offshore. Race field's also going to include a lot of returning champions. St.Clair in this local area have produced a lot of champion racers because they put their time and effort and, of course, money into it. And one of those, of course, including St.Clair's own Ed Smith. And coming out of retirement this year is 2014 world champion Chuck and Kelly Brodus in the Broadco team with Blue Water roots, and glad to see them back here. One of the big things is the partnership that goes into having a successful race site. There's so much division in these race organizations, and this year we've got cooperation bringing teams from Powerboat P1 and OPA. That cooperation is just producing some great racing and unprecedented cooperation. So I want to give a thank you to Azam Rangoonwala from Powerboat P1 and Ed Smith, the other Ed Smith, from OPA and the Jersey Boys. With that, I'll turn the mic back over to Bob Courier.
Thanks, Steve. Any of you who have traveled, especially air travel and cross-country travel, know that those logistics can get challenging at certain points in time. And our best laid plans sometimes don't work out the way we always would have liked them to. We had hoped and planned that Azam and Smitty would both be here for this historic event, but they sent us prepared statements that they would like to have everyone here as part of this event. And at this time, I would like to ask Blue Water Vice President Butch Kinsfater to come forward with Azam's remarks.
Thanks, Bob. Good morning from Florida. I'm very sorry not to be able to join you all this morning, but very pleased that Smitty is with you, which he isn't, to represent the new APBA Offshore Championship. Partnerships are at the heart of Powerboat P1 business, and our decision towards the end of last year to join forces with OPA Racing to launch the new Offshore Race Series was a hugely significant one. Since my father founded the P1 business in 2003, the same year that Smitty set up OPA, we have staged more than 600 powerboat and jet ski races in 18 countries on 4 continents. And the birth of this new circuit, as it has been described in the media, is an immensely exciting development. OPA Racing and P1 are very different companies with different cultures and expertise, but we have all gelled very well and realized that this is a great opportunity to bring everyone together to make the best possible series for the sport. We want to strengthen the future of offshore racing by delivering an expanded, cohesive, world-class series split equally between the North and South, with race venues in Florida, Missouri, Indiana, and of course, Michigan. We have identified several important areas where we believe the partnership will produce significant results commercially and in terms of the sports organization and profile. We've been getting a great response from the offshore racing teams, both here in the United States and internationally. There is a very much an international flavor to the new series, with high-profile teams from the UAE and Australia committed to the series and racers from 10 countries. Our aim is always to stage events that excite and entertain, ensuring enjoyment for spectators with sponsor value and a real economic impact for the host venues. We believe that combining our new racing partnership with Blue Water Offshore Racing Association's experience in race production in St. Clair and the entertainment and vendors managed by FunFest Productions will enhance this year's River Classic as you celebrate your 25th anniversary. Congratulations on that impressive milestone. Let me leave you with the words of multiple offshore world champion Steve Curtis after Miss Geico's victory in the opening event of the championship. It was a return to the halcyon days of offshore racing. So many boats, very competitive, and truly international. Everyone is very positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. Now I'm going to ask one of Blue Water Offshore's former board members, longtime volunteer, behind-the-scenes guy, but also now the chair of the St. Clair County Board of Commission, Jeff Bohm, and Jeff is going to deliver Smitty's prepared comments.
First of all, before I get started, I would like to thank Mike Laporte for hosting us down here today. Could I get a little round of applause for Mike? So Smitty was not able to be with us here today. Hello from New Jersey and the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. I regret that last-minute challenges prevent me from being here in St. Clair this morning with all of you and my good friends of the Blue Water Offshore Racing Association. It has been 14 years since the partnership between Offshore Racing Association and the Blue Water Offshore Racing Association began, and the OPA is proud to be returning on this historic year, the 25th anniversary of the St. Clair River Classic offshore race. Our teams from OPA hold this race site close to our hearts and feel right at home in your wonderful community, and looking forward to our 14th year racing here. Your venue is comfortable with everything close to the race village and the race course. Blue Water and its amazing team of volunteers work like a well-oiled machine in managing the event. My hat is off to this great team. This year's event brings more excitement to the sport as OPA has partnered with a great international racing organization, Powerboat P1. This partnership and the APBA Offshore Championship Series are bringing renewed interest in our sport, increased boat count to our race sites with teams from many countries. This year's St. Clair River Classic can expect 60 race teams and their families to visit for the weekend, provide some truly exciting racing, and be available for our fans to get right up close and personal with our boats and team members in Race Village along the Main Street in downtown St. Clair. And I am truly excited about the major announcement being made here today in supporting of this magnificent race site. Many racers over the years have set their sights on Key West, Florida as being their favorite race venue, and it is said to be the best, you must win Key West. I will tell you, St. Clair has become known as the Key West of the North. Congratulations, Blue Water Offshore in the city of St. Clair on your 25th anniversary. And I'm going to say a few comments. Many of you here know that I get the opportunity to announce the races every year. And one of my favorite lines I get a chance to say every year, I say, this race has been going on so long, Butch Kinsvater even had hair. It's a long time, Butch. I've personally been involved for the last 15 years, and it's really exciting to see that renewed boat count this year. And Jeff and Rick, I can't thank you enough for being part of this today and doing what you do. The St. Clair Inn really being gone from this race for the last X amount of years has really put a big void in it to take it to that next level. So with your investment in the town, I do appreciate that. My team, I see a lot of the people out here. Mr. Burgess, for all your help with the crane, Brian and Joe and the guys behind me, and police chief and everybody. Really just thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you, Jeff. You came close to letting the major announcement out of the bag there. So you've heard an underlying theme in the comments from Azam and Smitty that this is about partnerships. Racing, as so many other things, are all about the partnerships that you build over time. Driver and throttleman in the race boat together, and if you're not all that familiar with racing, the Broadco boat is behind us here, and there is a seat for the driver and the throttleman. I want you to think about driving your car with your spouse in the other seat. One of you has the steering wheel and the other one has the gas pedal. What about a partnership there to make that happen so that boat doesn't go over in a turn or in one of the straightaways? It's about race sanctioning organizations working with local race producers, OPA and P1 coming together and partnering with 6 local race producers over the course of this year's racing season in the APBA Offshore Championship Series. It's about Blue Water working within the local community. Local, state, and federal agencies who partner with racing organizations to ensure that permits are issued, permissions are granted as necessary, and public safety is in the forefront of planning. Race teams partner with sponsors. This is not an inexpensive sport. And local race promoters also work very closely with many sponsors. And it's very exciting to Blue Water Offshore Racing Association that part of this press event today is to announce the addition of a new major sponsor and partner to our team. And with that, I'd like to ask Jeff Kotowski from the St. Clair Inn to come forward.
Thanks for coming out here to California. I brought this with me. It's beautiful today out here. In fact, Bohm's going out to California tonight. He's getting ready by not wearing socks. So you're good. Rick and I are really excited about what's coming up. The St. Clair River Classic is one of many events that's thrown here in St. Clair. There are a lot of great events. This one might be the sexiest. And we felt that it was important as we try to become more of your community. Again, we're not from here, we understand it, but we're here a lot, and you've certainly embraced us, and we feel that it's important as we try to become more and more a part of this community, as we spend more time here, not only ourselves, but soon with our families quite a bit, that we get involved. And one way to get involved is to support events. And what event do you support? Well, you start with the St. Clair River Classic. And so we have decided to become a major sponsor of the event. We're not quite ready to use the hotel in it from a stay standpoint. We're getting there. The weather hurt us the last couple months. We were trying to get ready for it. We may still try to do some things over there, but we're going to miss it by a couple of weeks, I think. But we're really excited about being part of this event and helping out any way that we can and become more and more part of this community. And this isn't just a one-year thing for us. This is something we want to be involved in going forward. We missed the first 24 years, but we missed the first 92 years of the hotel too. So here we are, and we're going to get rolling, and this is the first year we're going to do it. And part of what we're going to do is also support the 2014 World Champion team with Chuck and Kelly Brodko. We're going to be supporting them as well and sponsoring them. We're really excited about that. Not only are we here in a fabulous city on a great river, but now we're supporting a winner too. So with that, let me ask Chuck to come up and say a couple of words.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Chuck brought us. This is my wife, Kelly. We are ecstatic about returning to the wonderful sport of offshore racing. The last couple of years, we've kind of sat on the sidelines and watched all of our, the friends that we've encountered over the years that we've made within this organization. We've watched them and supported them and continued to race. We actually raced with Ed Smith in the Cleveland Construction Group. I drove the boat for Ed in the World Championship in Key West the year before last. So we didn't remove ourselves too far, but we are absolutely we can't wait. I mean, we're totally stoked, ready to go out and do this. This year brings, and part of the reason for us to make this decision to go back and race again is the partnership between OPA and P1 brings a unity that we haven't seen in the offshore racing world for many years, and everybody is completely jumped on board, and the momentum that is being created is astounding. So we wish to see this continue to move forward, to grow and to prosper within the racing community and the racing organizations, to be able to make all of the events as super as this one's going to be. With all of this racing that happens, sponsorship is important, and in order to be able to go out and make this happen, a lot of the teams require sponsorship. We definitely couldn't do this without the help of our sponsors that we've managed to gather this year, including the folks here from St. Clair Inn. Jeff and Rick are a couple of amazing guys. We want to commend them and thank them not only for the support of our racing team here this year, but also for their investment in this community. It's probably the best thing that's happened in a long time here, and I think everybody is going to really prosper from it and enjoy it. Yes, and then we've got Dave Burgess here, who's also providing some sponsorship support for us, and also he provides a crane service here. And once again, with all of the people that come together, including the Blue Water Offshore guys, who by far put together probably the most organized, successful race event of all of the ones that we run. They've got this down to a science. They've got something to deal with here that no other race course has to deal with, and that's freighter traffic. So we have to make way for the big boats, but they do everything in their power to make sure that they try to clear that schedule so that doesn't happen. And if it does, it's minimally disruptive, and it's in between the races. So once again, I'm happy to be back, and I'm thankful for everybody that came out today, and thankful for these folks here and all of the people that support offshore racing. And let's go racing.
Thanks, Chuck. It's great to have you guys back. So as Jeff Kotowski mentioned, they have decided, Jeff and Rick have decided to make a major investment over a number of years with the St. Clair River Classic. And I am excited to announce that the race will now be known as the St. Clair River Classic, presented by the St. Clair Inn.